What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It has been a minute. We haven't done the No Windy Sleeps podcast in a few weeks. We're back. We're back to talk some training. We got a lot of good questions going. Packing lips, dropping tips. Shout out Coach Ricky. Got the Coach Goat here today, so I'm just going to kind of shoot this shit, get back into it. And I think we wanted to start off with a few questions, but let me just tell you how fucked up my back is today already.
Them pause deadlifts get you.
Dude, it is bad.
Yeah.
I drop this down. That's not it. Yeah,
There's different types of pause deadlifts. There's pause deadlifts at the knee, and then there's pause deadlifts off the floor.
The pause deadlift off the floor was is the hardest variation. That was the hardest deadlift session, I think, as a total.
Yeah.
You know, not like grinding through heavy reps and shit or doing like AMRAPs.
Fatigued.
Like doing the first set, I had to go to a deep place and like, holy shit, I have 3 more.
Yeah.
Like I was like, if you weren't here, I would have been like, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
That's how hard it was.
It's for some people that might be easier though, pausing right off the ground, but that's just your weak point, and we found it, and we're gonna hammer the fuck out of it.
Why do you? I mean, I've been trying to think about it. Usually, I thought the way that I pull, because I'm a big like leg press mindset guy when it comes to deadlift. So I would think that would be my best. I would think that would be a stronger point for me, because usually. Actually, no, now that I think about it, if I can get it off the ground,
it's moving.
I can finish the rep.
Yeah.
The only time I ever fail is when I can't even get it off the ground.
Right.
So that first drive out of the hole and getting it to that point, that bottom third of the pull for me is...
Yeah, I mean, realistically, all you're really doing is taking the slack out of the bar really, really good, pretty much. Because if you had like 585 on the bar, where you pause is where that bar is going to start breaking the ground. You know what I mean? With those low pauses right off the ground. And that's what the objective is to kind of build that brute force off the ground.
Yeah, and it's weird because when you pause that at your knee, that top part of the pull, I feel like it's just easier to kind of get your levers to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're essentially like, it's like holding an ISO at the start of the pull.
Those pause at the knees are really good for people who start with a rounded back. Because if you start with a rounded back, your lockout's going to be so much harder because it's going to be harder to get your hips through. So if you start with a rounded back and pause at the knee, it's going to be harder than pausing right from the floor.
I feel like I start with a pretty rounded back.
No, I
think arms.
I think it's just like how your erectors are. I'm not trying to say you have big erectors or anything, but
mark this time, Brandon. Cut that and keep it forever. I've been feeling really good because we've been doing so much back.
Yeah.
Until my fucking shoulder came out the other day, but other than that, I feel really good.
Yeah. I've
been doing a shit ton of just like face pulls on like pretty much every day now.
Yeah. I mean, I bring a band to work with me, and I'll do like 250 band pull parts a day.
I can see you like weld something, get out, do bits.
Yeah.
It's like fucking 20.
Yeah, it's not, because I drive so much, so I'm like always like this.
Dude, I don't know how you do that, get out of your car and then go do that shit and then drive back and then go lift.
Yeah. Discipline.
Dude. I was driving when we were coming back from Point yesterday. That seat in the Jeep is so much different than the truck.
Yeah.
I was pulling back in here. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to deadlift today.
Yeah.
Like the lumbar support in that Jeep chair is way different.
I keep a rolled up towel in my truck and I fucking duct taped it. Dude, I'll stick it behind my back.
That's what I did when I popped mine at Nova.
Yeah. Because if I don't and I'm riding like that all day, my hips feel so out of place.
That's why when you're going and you're traveling, they say as soon as you get off the plane, get to your hotel, just go do some sort of movement workout. Like, you know, if it's kettlebell swings, bodyweight squats, and planks, and you know, prone tees or something.
Right.
Anything to kind of reset yourself, and especially your hips.
Yeah.
I got adjusted yesterday too, first time in a while.
I know, I need to get one.
Yeah, you do. You're all banged up.
I had to step away from the heavy weights as of recent. I can't. I think I have a hernia.
You just won't get it looked at.
No, because then they'll be like, oh, you need surgery. You can't lift for this long.
What does it feel like?
I can't even explain it. I can explain to you more how my rib feels. I think I popped a rib out of place doing SSB squats about 10 weeks ago.
Here?
No, at Fuel. And I think I had my belt. I usually put my belt on a notch, like I have it marked on the one notch. And I was fucking feeling lean that day. I'm like, I'm going to rip it a little tighter. And I did, and I got back. And I think I think it like bruised one of my ribs or popped. I don't know, but ever since then, dude, my right side is just fucking
Does it
killing
hurt
me.
when you take deep breaths in, like
No,
brace and shit?
no, it doesn't hurt like that. It hurts like if I go to pull like a lat pull down, like right at the bottom when I squeeze, like when my lat's contracted, that's when I'll feel a pinch. Or like when I'm getting up on the reverse hyper, I can feel it.
Oh yeah, dude, that reverse hyper too. Though when you get that swing underneath you,
I know, feels good.
you get a little pinch though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into a couple questions. You want me
Okay.
to fire them off at you? I'm gonna fire them off at you. You're the expert coach here.
Yeah, right.
We'll do no windy sleeves first, and then we'll go into mine. I have some good ones, but mine are a little, I would say not as PG. All right, first one. What do you feel is the minimum amount of training a week for you to for maintenance?
For maintenance?
Yep.
Well, I mean, that would depend on your level of fitness already. If you're somebody who's new to the gym, not a lot, because you don't really have anything to lose. But people are probably listening to look for an actual answer instead of it depends. So I would say about 10 sets a week of a body part.
10 sets a week?
Of a body
and
part.
Breaking, so break it, and you can break it up.
Break it up 2 days, 5 sets one day, 5 sets the other day. So hitting every muscle group twice a week.
Do you think that for a beginner, when you're starting a body split, this is coming from me going off this is not for anyone else, a body split, upper lower, or doing like full body Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or full body, Monday, Thursday, and then start progressing?
As a beginner, I don't think it matters.
Just any stimulus?
I mean anything that you'll follow, anything that you'll stick to.
I agree. I'm with you. I remember even watching my brother start.
Yeah.
And seeing now he's progressed. He was doing like 3 days a week full body, and then just like activity on the other days, and now he's like a full split.
I have a client who is just getting back into working out. She was a college soccer player, hasn't really worked out since college, and I just have her doing 3 days a week, and she's like, it's kicking her ass. I'm like, there's no reason to do more. You got to recover from it.
All right, you ready for this one? Who was stronger when we first met, me or you?
Me.
False. Fucking false.
Not true.
You didn't even lift then?
Yes, I did.
You were no. How were you? 17? No, 19.
No.
I was like 190. No, I was like 185.
Was I 19?
I think you were a freshman in college.
No, I wasn't.
You were not in high school.
No, you're right. Yeah, I was 18 or 19. No, it was Easter, so I was 19. I just turned 19.
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah.
I was definitely bigger.
No, you weren't. You even said to Ashley, the first time you were like, oh, that's great. I'm the smallest guy in the family
I was
now.
talking about your dad.
No.
All right. We're going to skip. Ashley had a good one. It's very general.
Mm-hmm.
Any diet tips for women?
I don't think there's a specific food women can eat that shouldn't be.
I'll dive into this one a little bit too, actually. I think it depends on what your goal is as a woman and what your starting body composition is and where you want to go.
Yeah.
And then it can go into kind of what you like,
Mm-hmm.
what you like to eat, what you cannot eat. But there's no difference between men or women. Obviously, your overall caloric intake will be a bit lower because of your BMR compared to a man. But it really depends. You can't do anything unless you know where you want to go.
Right.
I kind of talked to a couple people about that right now. They're doing, they want to do some like fasting, but they want to tone essentially too. First of all, there's a question about toning we'll get into, but like fasting for the most part, if you're a very, very beginner, I think that fasting is the best thing to do for like beginners, because it's just, if your goal is just to lose weight, because then it's literally math.
You know what my problem with that is people think they can reward themselves late at night for starving themselves half the day.
Yeah, I mean true fasting. Like you're shutting off at 7 or 8 o'clock. Like you're staying in your window. But if you're just going to lose weight, I think it's the easiest way to, then it just becomes a math problem. If you're not worried about body composition.
It's the easiest way to get in a calorie deficit.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because then you can't, I just reposted something on it today. You can't really, if you're just doing the calories in, calories out, it's not great for body composition, because the quality of foods and the macros matter when it comes to body composition. But if you're like, I'm 230, I want to be 200, let's go into a deficit and then hit your numbers, and that's it.
Right.
But I think that's a huge like misconception when it comes to it. And then obviously when it goes to like men and women, there's nothing different besides the overall numbers.
Eat the same thing a man would, just eat less of it.
That's it.
Steak.
There you go, Ash. Why should women lift heavy?
I mean, the same reason men should. I mean,
why do you think there's such a big misconception that they should be training differently?
Because girls think that if you lift heavy, you're going to become bulky and shit. I've been lifting for like 10 years now, and I look like an overdeveloped or an underdeveloped 15-year-old. I mean, trust me, it's not going to happen overnight.
You have to act, because people see the CrossFit girls.
Right.
And they're like, I don't want to look like that. They have calculated everything they eat every day.
Yeah, and
they're
lifting
hard
like
as shit.
2-3 times a day, and trust me, they're not eating clean by any means. Most of them, probably. They're probably eating like pizza just to get the calories back in that they lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have to actively try, and it has to be a part of a plan.
And that's their life. You know what I mean? A lot of those girls who compete in the CrossFit games, like, that's their job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to...
Well, and that's what when you think about it, like it's as simple as like when we're cutting and bulking, right? Everything changes. So you have to sit down and consciously make a decision.
Yeah.
I'm going to lift heavy and eat a shit ton to get bulky.
Yeah.
You know, so you just lifting heavy and not being in a huge caloric surplus, you're not going to get bulky.
Well, and that's interesting too, because everybody always is like, oh, when I bulk, I'm going to lift real heavy and do low reps.
Volume.
Everybody always says that. I'm like, no. If you want to get bigger, jack the fucking reps up and eat more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to create a stimulus and you got to recover from it. Like, really, you should probably be lifting heavier if you're in a maintenance.
Well, and I get that a lot. They're like, you don't look like you can pull a 625, because I'm not that big, because I don't really train to be big.
Right.
Like I'm training to be more strong. Like if I only cared about putting on size, everything I would do would be in like the 6 to
You'd be doing like
10,
a workout
12 rep.
I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Like a push-pull leg split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More volume, more blood flow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and more not more calories. I'm eating a lot right now, but it that's a huge misconception. That's why a lot of like big time bodybuilders, they can go in and still pull 650, 700 pounds, but they're lean as shit because they're doing so much volume.
Yeah, and they have a lot of tissue.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one.
Yeah.
This is for you. Why toning isn't a thing?
Can't tone bone.
Facts.
Got to put muscle on first.
So, talk a little bit about that. Like, what people say, I want to tone.
Well, if you want to tone and you don't have any muscle, the first thing you'd want to do is put muscle on to show some sort of muscle definition. If you're like, 230 and you're probably like, 18, 20% body fat, yeah, you can tone then. If you've been lifting for a while and you're strong, you know what I mean? You can tone then. You just go into a calorie deficit.
But toning is peeling off the fat around your muscles, essentially, or putting on more muscle.
And it's physically impossible to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time unless you're on massive amounts of PEDs. So if you're natural and you're trying to tone, you're probably going to lose a little bit of muscle. The key is to figure out how to keep as much muscle as you can while losing the fat. But you're going to lose some muscle too along the way.
That's why when you're preparing yourself for your summer cut, right? You have to sacrifice something, and like that's things that we go into is like, oh, I don't want to lose strength, so I'm not going to cut because I don't really care. My shirt's going to be off twice this summer.
Yeah, people will do. I mean, everybody does it. You bulk in the winter, you cut in the summer. It's really not enough time to bulk. It's hard to, if you're natural. Say you start in September and you end it in April. That's not enough time to put on mass. I mean, you might put on 3 pounds of muscle if you're natural, maybe 5. You need to take.
What Julian Smith do?
Oh my! He said he was in a calorie surplus for like 5 to 8 years or some shit like that.
Did you see? And that picture?
Yeah, he was fat, but now look at him. He's
in the
shredded.
polo and shit.
Yeah,
like that one picture you always post. Holy shit! But he was like, I knew what I was doing.
Yeah,
I was telling my friends. My friends were giving me shit. He's like, I'm bulking for like 5 years.
And look at him now. He's a natural athlete, and he's shredded to the bone.
And now he can slowly add muscle while staying lean.
Because he got the look he achieved.
He got the size that he wanted. So now he's still trying to get a little bit bigger probably.
Yeah.
But it's slowly over time where he doesn't have to worry about doing that waving.
Right.
So now he can just train the way he wants.
Right.
That's a commitment.
Yeah.
For sure.
It really is, yeah.
You know, you're like, I know I'm always like, I'm going to bulk for like 6 months. Remember, I get to like 240, I'm like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, you probably went a little too fast, though.
Yeah, for sure. How to prioritize working out when you work full time and a mom?
That's a good one, because I can't really answer that for your mom. I don't know what that's like. I mean, I can answer what it's like working full time. I mean, I work 56 hours a week plus a 2-hour drive a day, so you just have to be disciplined. You just have to understand that's what you want, those are your goals, and that's what you're going to stick to. I mean, there's nights I don't want to go, and there's some nights where, like, I won't go to the gym, I'll just lift in my basement, but as long as I get something done, like, I feel good.
And maybe tailoring a plan. Like, you can't do a 6-day-a-week split.
No.
Right? You do like 3 or 4.
4.
Four, right?
So, well, now 5.
And but it's 2 days on the weekends when you're not working.
Saturday, Sunday, I have to lift Saturday and Sunday. Then I'll go Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday or Thursday, and then Friday I'll do like a pump day, like arms or something like that.
And I think for the other part is using and asking for help.
Yeah.
Like, so Ash, who asked the question, being like, all right, can you watch the baby, watch the kids so I can go get 45 minutes, even if it's a walk or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so building your program and just making sure that's kind of built into it and making your spouse know how important the training is.
Right.
Even just for being healthy, but also for, mentally to, for you moving forward. It's super important. Why are rest days so important?
Because you can only recover, or you can only grow what you can recover from. So if you're going in the gym 7 days a week and you're hitting these crazy high volume workouts and you're not recovering, you're just taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back. You're not really getting anywhere.
That's why I'm excited to kind of see some of the stuff that like my brother's doing when after 75 hard's over.
Yeah.
He could take a week off to recover.
Yeah.
And then start getting recovery days in with this training that he's doing with the nutrition. I think it's going to be awesome because 75 hard, you're really not recovering.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you would just need to, like, have built-in recovery workouts. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you're still working out, but you're just maybe hitting the bike or something. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, guys, like yesterday for him, we did some arms and some pulls, some light stuff. What inspired NWS?
You take the lead on that.
I think initially it was just someone said said it as like a insult to my brother. Yeah. He had windy ass sleeves, but I think we took that because we had so much different stuff going on and different guys like yourself who's heavily involved in training, fitness, and a good mentality. We have the gym, we had the online training, we had everything, and we wanted to do a podcast, and it was a place that we could like keep everything and bring in a bigger group of people that all had the same vision, and it scaled out huge, just to the point where it really doesn't matter what you're doing, is that you're trying to attack whatever you're doing with the same mentality that you would to fill your fucking sleeves. Yeah. And now it's just grown to a movement of self-development. Vertical.
Yeah.
And it's been fun. We were talking about it yesterday.
Last year at this time is when it got started.
Yeah, you came down for like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
A week straight, but COVID 5 weeks in a row. I mean, no windy sleeves wouldn't be where it's at if COVID didn't hit.
Yeah.
Because we had it before. We had just started getting into it right when COVID hit. We had started making the videos and stuff.
We had like a couple of sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like advertised.
But then we had nothing to do to grow because the gym was shut down. So we were like, let's really just push content to help people.
Yeah.
Leverage it with no windy sleeves just to be able to get eyes on and be able to help as many people.
Yeah.
We had nothing to do all day, every day besides make content.
Right.
Work out, eat.
Yeah.
Play video games. Work on the website, stuff like that. But it was fun. I mean, it's been fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what we got. Some new stuff coming too.
Yeah.
Sups. And who's your fave client? Who's your fave client? Tut, who's fave training partner?
That's Jess, obviously.
Yeah. Who's your fave client? Tut, who's fave training partner?
She's saying, who's my favorite client? Who's your favorite training partner?
Oh. My favorite
Gotta work on the grammar there.
Yeah, maybe a comma or something. Who's your favorite client?
Answer yours. I'll think about that.
My favorite training partner, I would say Jess Nasuti, Snoot Strength.
I don't really have a favorite client.
Who's your biggest two pain in the ass clients?
You and Jess. Fucking texting me all the time. Hey, can I go ahead? When can I max again? When can I do this? I'm like, just.
In defense of myself, for the first time ever, that conversation started because I was like, I haven't one rep max since August.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I don't want to one rep max until probably the end of May.
Yeah.
You thought I was sitting in here saying I wanted to max?
You probably were.
No, Brandon was in here.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't want to.
they don't see the safety bar squat PR you hit. That wasn't.
It was
programmed.
a rep day. It was my leg press substitute because I didn't have a leg press there and I wasn't at point that day.
Mm-hmm.
That should make you happy though.
Yeah, whatever.
I haven't one rep. I haven't one. Maybe down in Texas. Who knows?
No, I have a lot of clients that if they would just ask me, if you would have just texted me like, hey, I'm going to hit a heavy SSB today, I'd be like, all right, fine. But they'll just do it.
That's bullshit.
Like I had a client, and Bobby, if you're listening, this is towards you. He did a push-pull meet, and I trained him for 8 weeks leading up to it. And I'm like, all right, this is your openers, 275 bench, 500 deadlift. He opened at 295. Now, he's a first-time meet. So he got red lighted on his first bench because he jumped up to 295. So then he had to take it again. So he used all that energy on 2 attempts. And then he went to 325 and failed it. I'm like, if you were just stuck to 275, 305, 325 like we planned, you wouldn't have used that extra energy.
What did he get red lighted for?
Ass came off the bench.
That's one of the reasons why I could not compete. As soon as I get to like 90%, my ass is coming up. Yeah, I think that's it's hard to, when you're feeling good, and you're feeling good when you're sticking to a good training program for a long time, to go in and not, if you have 5 sets of 3 and it's moving fast to stay on it.
And I do it too. I mean, I did it at the summit when I pulled 595. It was feeling good and I just went with it. But I mean, it's not a bad thing really if you do it once in a while. I mean, you got to test yourself to see if you're moving up or not. I just like to test in different ways than one rep maxes, like 585 for 3. That was a PR.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, 545.
That was supposed to be 2.
Yeah, it was whatever. I mean, I actually liked that because it was competition.
Yeah,
and I like
that was fun as shit. That was I think I've gotten to the point too where, because it's less about numbers, especially the more you're in it.
Yeah.
If I pull 640 weighing 220, it's not impressive. It really, really isn't.
To you, it is. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To me, it is.
Yeah.
So I get just as much enjoy pulling 585 for 3 as I would when I do a 1 rep max now.
Right.
Because I'm not competing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. It's still a personal best for me, and that's the whole thing. That's why I get pissed. I don't get pissed. I kind of feel bad because I think it's something that we create. When people come to visit and we're like, dude, you're gonna max. You're like, I'll do my max. Hopefully, I'm only gonna get 455. I'm like, that's your fucking max. Right. That's fucking awesome. We're gonna be just as excited for you when you pull 455 or 500 as I am for mine.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Ed Cohn said one time he was doing a seminar and somebody asked him what it felt like to have 1,000 pounds on his back, and he said, "Well, what's your max?" And the kid said 500. He's like, the same way 500 felt for you.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love that because I'll say that to people too. If I'm training with someone and we're squatting at 78% today. Like, oh, dude, how are you feeling after that? I'm like, your 78% feels the same to you as my 78% feels to me. That's the point of the percentage. You get the same training stimulus.
Right.
I'm not going to get any more stronger than you that day than you did, because it's the same intensity for both of us. Just because it's a bigger number, yeah. All right, we got off there. Describe the different rep ranges for different goals.
Strength would be anywhere from like 1 to 5. Hypertrophy, 6 to 12. I mean, there's been a study, Steffi Cohn talked about it, about hypertrophy. If you're outputting enough like energy, you can create hypertrophy in a 3 rep, right? So if you're doing an 85% for a 3 rep max, that can stimulate hypertrophy. So it doesn't need to be, 8 reps, 12 reps. Just because that blood's not, just because you don't feel like blowing up after you do a set doesn't mean you're not growing. You know what I mean? But from like 12 to 20 would be like an anaerobic muscular endurance rep range. But I would say if you want to put on muscle, stay somewhere in the 6 to 12 range.
Yeah, you'll see different charts and they vary around a lot. Usually the general rule of thumb is like 1 to 2 or 3 is power, then like 2 to 6 is strength, or 2 to 5, and then 6 to 12, and then 12 plus can be endurance. But
I mean, there's variables to that too.
How many sets are you doing of it? Like if you do one drop set and you're doing 60 reps,
and if you're doing tempo reps, if you do a set of 5 and you're doing a 5-second negative, 2-second hold,
it comes down to that tut.
Right, time under tension.
That's right. I had the best story about that ever. Some dude called me a tool because it was written up. Well, it was Coach Cox. We all got gallons our first day at Nova as interns, and we're like, guys, I wrote tut on mine. We're like running sprint, or we're doing sled push on the turf, and he's like, who's the dickhead that wrote time under tension on the thing? He didn't know who I was at the time. I was like, that's me, that's my name. He's like, oh, cool. Just walked away. Do you prefer training men or women? I prefer training women. Nothing against any guys that I train, but 10 times out of 10, even when
they
it
just
comes
listen.
To like, they're especially younger. They're a little more mature early. It's not a testosterone battle, right? Because where it's like, well, I know I can do this too. I'm going to go home and do this, or I'm going to eat this. It's usually they'll listen to what you say. You generally just come in, do what they got to do, and leave. There's no extracurricular stuff. I just think it's easier. Always had, even when I was coaching college athletics, it was a little bit easier training the women's sports.
They just listen better.
Yeah. I kind of go back and forth when it comes to. I actually don't have any like powerlifting clients that are women.
Yeah,
to work with.
I've just Jess.
That's a whole nother discussion. All right. I have. Let me switch to my page. I got a couple good ones on mine.
All right.
What's the key to athletes still putting on size during high intensity and conditioning sessions?
Recovery, eating and sleeping. Sleeping gets overlooked a lot, especially because an athlete's probably going to be in college and they're probably going to want to go party and stuff. But if you're not sleeping at least 6 hours a night, you're probably not going to be recovering.
What's the famous saying about sleep and hydration? You say it all the time. You're stepping over dollars to pick up dimes.
Oh, that's
sleeping,
that's the
eating.
creatine thing.
Is it creatine?
Yeah, if you're taking creatine and sleeping 5 hours a night, you're stepping over dollars to pick up dimes.
Who was that?
Stan.
The GOAT?
Yeah.
The Godfather? I think for that, for a big piece of it is eating, and that's like we always say.
Yeah.
If you're training that high intensity, you're outputting a lot of calories.
Yeah,
you need to pump them back in.
And it's important to nutrition timing is very important when it comes to that too. Like, don't think that you need to eat protein immediately after you work out. What you need immediately after you work out is sugar and carbs. A fucking Pop-Tart. You know what I mean?
Pop-Tarts, baby.
Or I like to do...
we got a little carried away with the Pop-Tarts here. Brandon.
You're eating them like every day.
We were like, I'm going to work out in 4 hours. Let me have a pack of Pop-Tarts, dude. We were crushing them.
I like to, while I'm working out, I like to eat like today I got fruit roll-ups and just that sugar. But
the gummy bears they're quickly becoming a favorite of mine. Like,
I like
before,
eating
after,
like
during.
some fruit right after. Fruit and like
that sugar is just really good, and it's good for the palate too. I fucking love it.
Yeah, get some salt down right after you work out too. Some sodium.
Yeah, the sodium I think is a huge misconception too. I think a lot of people go back and forth with it, and they don't understand why. And even those liquid IVs that people are drinking, they're thinking they're just drinking packets of electrolytes.
Yeah,
when so much of it is. I tell people to drink a bottle of salt water before they go drinking for the night.
Yeah,
you get dehydrated. Like the best part about the sodium is the water retention. Obviously,
Yeah.
you can overdo it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
why do you get hungover? Because you're dehydrated.
Dehydrated.
Pound a bottle of salt water, pound a bottle of water. Just try to retain as much of the hydration in you as you can, so your hangover's a little bit less. It's the same thing when it comes to training.
Yeah, it's a fine line though. Like, if you're taking in too much sodium and not enough water, you're probably gonna have like diarrhea pretty bad.
That day I was like, dude, I think I'm gonna fucking like throw up. My stomach hurts.
Yeah.
And he was like, what'd you have today? I was like, I had 3 packets of liquid IV
Yeah.
in like 3 hours.
The liquid IVs, when I first started drinking them, I was like, more is better.
Yeah.
And then I was like, one really around training is the best time for it.
Yeah, I'll just put 1 in a gallon now because that usually lasts me all day.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
Yeah, in the summers it's different. Like if you're sweating all day, maybe 2, but really just 1.
Yeah.
When you're training.
That's why, and getting all that sodium in, that's that old school mentality where people think that you have too much sodium, you're gonna your blood pressure, your cholesterol.
Yeah, you're gonna hold water and shit.
What is it? It's when you have too much sodium with refined sugars, or no, simple processed sugars and sodium is one of the reasons that
Hold water.
no, your dad was talking to me about it. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah,
that's
this is a
incorrect,
topic for him.
But he was like, yeah, it's when you're having too much sodium with like processed sugar that it can end up being really bad for you, and that's where people kind of mix it all up.
Well, and that's a big reason why red meat gets a bad rap, is because usually red meat is eaten with refined carbs, like a fucking burger bun. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's gonna shoot your blood pressure up. But yeah, red meat's. I fucking eat red meat like 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah, I've been eating chicken more lately. We won't get into that. How many grams of protein should I have a day, and is it possible to have too much?
I don't really know the science behind that, but I would say 1 gram per pound of goal body weight.
So I actually did. So I read a lengthy article on it probably like 2 months ago because I was doing it for my certification, my research. They did a study. They put people there with right at that gram per body weight per pound, and then they had people in a huge excess of it.
Yeah.
They said the biggest difference is there is a fine number where you get to a point where you're gonna stop being able to put on any muscle.
Yeah.
Like it won't help, but the more you took in, there was a significant decrease in body fat mass. So you may hit a wall of protein intake where you're going to actually stop putting on muscle, but as you continue to eat it, you are going to continue to burn more fat. I mean, they had some dude who weighed like 180 pounds taking in like 330 grams a day. Like, it was a crazy study.
Yeah.
But the more protein you take in, the more body fat mass you're actually going to burn. But there's like a fine number, and they don't.
Well, is that because protein's more satiating, so you're going to probably slip into a calorie deficit because you're not going to be as hungry?
Yeah, because you get your metabolism starts to really kick in.
Yeah.
Like mine's off right now because I've had no calories.
Yeah.
My body temp is like
Cold.
freezing. But it was actually very interesting because I always wondered that. I mean, I'm taking in like close to 300 grams of protein a day.
It's a bit.
I mean, I'm having 2 scoops of protein with almond milk in the morning, 2 scoops with almond milk at night, 2 scoops right after my workout.
Jesus.
So that's just in protein shakes.
Yeah, I can't do that. It messes my stomach up.
My stomach actually holds pretty well for it. But yeah, I should find that article and send it to you. It's actually really good.
Yeah. What's that noise?
It's the elliptical. If you guys hear someone's working out behind us. I found this other one. Have you guys, either one of you, ever dabbled in PEDs? Negative. I've dabbled before, but I say I don't do them because I would be a lot bigger if I did them. I've taken tests and stuff like that, but nothing too crazy.
I mean, I've been clinically diagnosed with low T. I mean, you've had blood work done. And
Yeah.
shown.
My whole family, me and my brother, so I just assume everyone else, we have very, very low testosterone naturally. So I went and got my levels tested. So we get it through the doctor. So I probably walk around at like a normal person, but when I got tested, dude pretty much looked at me and was like, "You have the testosterone levels of a 14-year-old boy."
Yeah.
I was like, and the difference I feel now from having higher tests I was so tired and like unmotivated before,
Yeah.
a little groggy all the time. Just having the right test levels, my energy, my metabolism is so fucking different.
It's important. I mean, no man should walk around under 400.
I was
test
at like
levels.
228 or 226.
I mean, I've done dumb shit in college where I've like bought fucking pro hormones from a supplement store, but that's probably just rice powder in a capsule.
Yeah, you can't trust that stuff. I will say,
That was just me being young and dumb, thinking there was a faster way around just hard training and diet.
I never listened to the dudes at GNC either. Like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 21, and they're like, you're at your peak test right now. You shouldn't take anything. If you take anything, it's gonna fuck you up after.
Yeah.
I think that's why I have low T's, because I did the same shit.
Yeah.
I took some stupid pro hormones probably.
Yeah, I mean, every young kid getting into working out is gonna look for the fastest way to put on muscle. I mean, now that I've matured and I know what it takes, I would never do it again.
I will say, not because I don't think that any young athlete should. People, when you're out and you want to do your own thing, do your own thing. Don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Young athletes, you don't need to take it. And people, if you're uneducated about it, I will always say this, though, in defense. If you were going to take anything, it is much, much safer and better for your body to inject it than take a pill that you buy offline.
Yeah,
like for hormones. Because the
probably coming from
toxicity...
China
And your liver has to break down those capsules, right?
Yeah.
So that is traveling through your liver. And for the most part, people who take this, like college kids, they're going to be going out drinking.
Right.
The toxicity is brutal.
Yeah.
So it is. I would say it's much, much safer to do that. I don't think anybody should unless you are very highly educated on it.
And have medical advice from a doctor.
Yeah. Go get your... Nothing should happen until you
go
get
get
your
a blood
levels
test.
checked.
You can go get a blood test done for like $200. It doesn't have to go through your insurance or anything. Go get your levels checked, cholesterol, blood pressure, all that. I guess my advice, and if I could go back and do it again, the money I spent on them, I would have just hired a nutrition coach and got way better results. Because I said nutrition coach because training, you can, at that age, you can do fucking anything and put on muscle if you have the right nutrition.
Yeah, and
so save that money, get a nutrition.
A lot of the stuff you're doing to your levels with any supplement that you're taking, you can get it through the right food anyways.
Yeah, like I don't take creatine anymore because I eat so much red meat.
You got your levels tested after being vertical for a while. People were giving you shit for all the red meat. Weren't they better?
My cholesterol went down like 20 points.
And you eat a shit ton of red meat and salt.
It's all I eat.
It's insane.
Yeah.
If you had, what's the number one exercise if you had to choose one? For overall benefits.
Deadlift. Yeah.
Why?
It's full body exercise. I mean, you can get bigger legs from it, bigger back, arms, everything, core strength. A lot of people, one of the main questions I think a lot of young kids ask is, because the new trend going around was traps of the new abs. Everybody's like, oh, how do I get bigger traps? And you see people shrugging with like more than they can deadlift, and they're just like kind of like doing this shit. It's like, just deadlift heavy. You'll get big traps.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I have big traps.
I have tiny fucking traps, but a
Genetics.
lot of things are genetics.
Yeah.
Like, I know it.
Yeah, I mean, I got calves the size of a flamingo. And I train them twice a week, just like any other body part. They just... I mean, at this point, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I mean,
you learn to really not give a shit if you're comfortable with yourself because, dude, I was just above 10%.
Yeah.
Right? I still had love handles. I'll have to be 4% for them to go away.
And they still might not.
And they might not. I really don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's like pick and choose. And, you know, if you're that uncomfortable with it, go get something done about it. You know, if it really bothers you that much.
I think that's a maturity thing, too, because when you were in college, you were probably, like, tried everything. You were probably doing oblique crunches and shit.
No, I mean, now I do those for a different purpose.
Right.
But, yeah, like...
you just get more comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah. You know, and I know that I've trained my ass off. I eat right. I do the shit that I need to do, and it's just...
You know, one thing I always used to be kind of self-conscious about, too, is I just naturally have a bigger chest than anything. Like, in some T-shirts, it looks like I have fucking man boobs. But, like, if you look at, like, my mom's side of my family, like, they're all short wrestlers. Like, my Uncle Shane has a huge barrel chest. My Uncle Mike, they just have big chests. And I just must have got that genetic trait. And
I'm in a very similar way too. My chest is way bigger than it grows faster, where my shoulder caps do not.
Yep.
They'll get stronger. They just don't grow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something a little bit fucked up. Is that you looked at me yesterday, the angle I was at with the lighting, thought I had some gyno, and your eyes lit up so happy that you thought I had gyno from taking tea because you just want to bring me down. But it's whatever. I was a little bit upset. He was so fucking happy, Brandon.
I was like, is that gyno?
He's like, you have gyno. I was like, oh, that's fucked up. It's funny too with the genetics things, and like I said, pick and choose your battles. If you look at Tut and I, the only reason we look a little bit different is because I've been training for a long time.
Right.
We have the same exact body build, right? We're smaller leg dudes. We both hold everything here. We're like wings scapped, bigger, decent sized chest. We look like the exact same person because our genetics are the same.
Yeah.
There's only, as you train and grow, your body changes, but you're given what you're given to start with.
Do the best you can with what you got.
Yeah.
You can't change a lot of shit.
No.
I mean, social media is at fault for a lot of that. I mean, everybody just highlights their best traits on Instagram, and people are like, oh, like that's what I'm gonna look like that. And it's like reality hits.
What's the hardest thing for you when it comes to I guess training and nutrition that you think you're very regimented and you spend a lot of time in there, but it kind of holds you back from being exactly where you want to be?
Work.
Yeah,
I mean, I probably don't recover as well as I should just because my job requires me to be on my feet all day, lift heavy stuff, be in awkward positions. So, I mean, I'm never really getting a break unless I'm driving. Then I'm hunched forward and locking up. That's the problem with my deadlift is I feel like my deadlift would be a lot better if I could get these low back issues out of the way. But I feel like that comes from just driving so much. You know what I mean? I drive so much and I do mobility twice a week. But it's just, what was it? 3 weeks ago I was here, I pulled that 525 pause single, which was a PR, and I was really happy about it. But we were in the garage afterward, and I was like, oh, my low back's locking up. And then I haven't deadlifted heavy since then. So it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah, it's a battle. I think for me it's the sleep, but it's, I don't want to say missing out on other things, but I like to have some drinks. Yeah. And I've cut it way, way out. But it's definitely it holds me back because even, when you have 6 or 7 beers, your test levels are going to drop. You're tired. You're not going to get a good session. You're not having the right food. Yeah. I like to go off the grid for a weekend, every month or two, and it's hard to bounce back from that and progress because that's the 5. You've taken 10 steps forward in March. You go away for a long weekend, you're 5 steps back, and you do it again.
Well, I mean, I think some advice for that would be if you plan on doing that, just don't even try and lift because you're just going to do more harm than good. Yeah. Don't get a good workout before it, but make sure you're eating after it and you get everything back in that you lost. But the day after or 2 days after, just don't plan on going to the gym.
I think it's a big thing for a lot of people is they always say, well, man, I go out on, I drink, it holds me back, all this stuff. And I always just tell people now, because I've done it, is eliminate any of that stuff unless it's necessary, right? Or it's a big thing. So don't just go out because it's a Friday night. Plan to have an early training session Saturday. Mm-hmm. Plan to get a bunch of stuff done. Same thing on Sunday, because in 2 weeks you're going to Miami for the weekend. Yeah. Right? So plan it out and don't just do things to do things anymore. Kind of get out of that. Use the alcohol or partying or eating like shit almost as a reward. Look, I just went 4 weeks without doing that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that comes down to prioritizing your goals.
Yeah. That was the big change for me last year. That helped all my numbers shoot up like crazy and my body composition change. You remember me right before my wedding? Drinking 2-3 days a week. Yeah. But changing that helps a shit ton.
Yeah. Yeah, you prioritize your goals. You're like, I want to look better, be stronger.
The other huge thing, we talked about it yesterday, this guy's like, man, you are fucking always eating. I'm like, I'm always eating because for me, if I don't eat, I hold more fat.
Yeah.
The more I eat, the more my metabolism is on. The more carbs I eat, the more my metabolism is on.
Mm-hmm.
I stay leaner the more I eat. As soon as I start to miss meals or, have bigger gaps or not get the right calories in, there is freaking honey on this table. I just put my hand in it.
Yeah, I did it like 3 times earlier.
For me, and that's why you see all these lean ass bodybuilders and they're like, "Why this dude's eating again?" Yeah, they might be on some juice, but metabolism. People like, well, I'm going away in 3 weeks, right, or a month. If I just fast or don't eat, and I'm gonna go into this huge deficit, you're gonna just lose any type of fullness that you have.
Let's see.
But that's the wrong mindset. That was the mindset I always had.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, I'm not gonna eat for this long. I'm gonna work out, and then I'm gonna eat a shit ton right around my workout, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to, it's like when we started working with Dave for nutrition, I'm like 4,400 calories. Holy shit. But he's like, I'm telling you, everything starts to turn on.
Yeah.
Your body starts needing that fuel. Your muscles need it, so it's taking that and burning it right off instead of just having it sit in different places.
Well, that good example is Taylor started working with Dave on his nutrition. He was 258 when he started 5 weeks ago. He's still 258.
Dude.
But he looks better.
Yeah, he definitely does look better.
Yeah.
I'm the same exact way. I shot up to like 225, I think, because I had a bad weekend. I started with Dave at 219.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 219.6.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm eating a shit ton. Like a lot. Probably double than I've ever eaten.
Right.
But
I mean, I have to eat as much as I do now. I eat 5 times a day just to hold 200 pounds. And it's not a lot. I think I was talking to a guy at my gym, and I was telling him about like my low back issues and like stuff like that. He's like, "You're 6'2", 200 pounds. You have a big frame. Like, you need to be 220." So that's why I've kind of restructured my training. I need to try and get to 220 or somewhere around there.
You should never be below 200.
Yeah, well, it's hard. Someday, if I have a bad couple days of eating, like not eating enough, I weigh myself in like 192.
That goes back to the genetics thing.
Yeah.
That we talk about. Like, our bodies are so different.
Yeah.
Because if I do that, I'm not losing that type of weight that you are.
Right.
Or I'm probably gaining a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's where it goes into the quality of your calories and your macros within your calories that we talk about. Because losing weight is a math, right? Losing and gaining is a math problem.
Yeah.
When it comes to usually for calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
Why am I taking in 4,400 calories and not gaining weight, right? Because a lot of the stuff I'm eating, the type of training I'm doing.
Yeah.
Where like that's always my biggest when I do like my consultation with my online clients. I ask them what their goals are. Most people, it's to tone. So we say you want to lean out and maintain your muscle that you have essentially.
Yeah.
Eat 3,300, 3,400, 3,500 calories and see how you're feeling.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I might get a little bulky 2-3 weeks in. They're like, I feel
great,
way leaner. You wake up in the morning, you're dried out. You feel good.
Yeah.
But it's especially if you're a former fat person. Like, I was huge. And Ant, what was your nickname? Or what was that they used to call you?
Orangutan titties. That's what I was saying about the chest, though. I just always had a big chest. And I don't really even know where I got my genetics from, because my mom's not tall. My dad's not tall. Both my sides of the family. My dad's side of the family is all short Italian people. And then my mom's side of the family is all short wrestlers. I have no idea.
What are you, like, you're 6'1", 6'2"?
6'1", 6'2".
Yeah, because your dad's not even 6 foot. He's a 5'9".
5'10", yeah, something like that.
Actually, yeah, it doesn't. I mean, but I guess.
But nobody I think, in my dad's side of the family, Phil, my cousin Phil, is like the only one over 6 foot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, me, my dad, and my brother all look the exact same. So
yeah.
I mean, we're all built the exact same. But I think that's all I got for you.
No more questions?
That's it for the questions that are appropriate for a camera.
Not suited for work.
Let's see. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any. No. That's it. That's all I got. We're going to try to pop on and do some more of these. I kind of want to, Ant's going to be coming down more to get on these, and we kind of want to start everyone off with the question stuff because I think it drives into a lot of it, especially for the training. So
it gets the audience engaged.
Especially for someone like you, I think, I want to wrap on this. You, completely different industry, where do you get all of your information on everything? How do you take it in? How do you digest it?
I mean, a lot of podcasts. Coach's Corner is a really good podcast if you're looking for like strength advice. I don't know. I mean, I've always, like, obviously my dad was a bodybuilder, so learned a lot from him. I mean, I could shout out a million names right now, but
do you read, like, is it articles? Is it Instagram? Is it
a lot of Instagram shit? Like, there's so much free content out there right now. Like, people do, like, for example, this gym in Oregon, Generation Strength, the owner was my coach. He just did a live video for, it was like an hour and 30 some minutes, and all he did was answer questions. Listen to people like that. You know, can't tell you how many programs or templates I've bought over the years and haven't even done them, just to see like another trainer's or powerlifting coach's mind, how they program. Or I have like 2 monthly subscriptions to like Matt Wenning's Patreon channel. He answers a lot of questions there. Joe Sullivan has like a group, like a private Facebook group that's $25 a month. I use that. Some stuff I might not even use, but some stuff I might. You know, you guys see a lot of the shit like that I'm learning at the time because I'll put it in your programs.
Yeah.
But like the program I'm doing now, it's a push-pull leg split, and there's 2 cycles of it. So the first push-pull legs is more compound movement based. The second push-pull leg split is more like bodybuilding shit. And I have like 4 clients doing the same exact thing I'm doing now. I'm just like a week ahead of them. So if I think there might need to be something more in it, or something taken out, or something changed around, then they get the refined version of it. So it's just a lot of kind of just your own.
A lot of trial and error, but it's important for you to learn it on yourself too as you're going along.
Right.
That's how you did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not anything that, what's that saying? Anything that is.
Anything worth doing is worth overdoing? Is that where you're going with it?
No. Or anything that, I don't know. I'm fucking having a brain fart. I need to eat. I just trained and I only ate a protein bar after.
This dude, all he wants to do is fucking eat. All right. That's it. We'll wrap. We'll see y'all next week.
Maybe.